What's going on, people? It's your boy Kojo right now, and I'm about to sit down with somebody that's owed me money for a while. She wants to ask me questions. Ain't got no damn answers for her. She owed me, it's like, I want that £50 dollar spent.
Kojo!
Hey Donna,
how are you doing?
I'm good, man.
I have to say I'm really, really proud of you. I've seen the extent of your work. I've been on that journey with you, watched you. I have to say I'm so, so proud of you.
Thank you, man.
Your new project, Above Romance.
Yeah.
Am I correct in saying it was a play first?
Yeah, it was, to be fair, it was like, originally it was a short story that I did on Instagram.
Okay.
So ultimately, like this, last year was a year of writing for me. That's why I said I wanted to do, because people know me from various different things, but for me, I wanted people to kind of understand that there's more to what I want to do. And
sure, you're
that.
more than just a comic.
Yeah, but you also want to kind of take your time and learn as well. Mm. So I was like, okay, well, let me do these short stories. So we did, first one was Wasteland Diaries, yes, that we done. And people use Instagram for different things. I chose to use it just so like daily stories. So I'd have a paragraph, a little bit more than a paragraph, and that would be chapter 1, and then Tuesday would be chapter 2. So I had people's attention for the whole week. Excellent. And it did well. Like the reaction was mad. And then Above Romance was another story that I wanted to write, and I guess the women liked it a little bit more because it's about relationships, but it was some real talk. And then yeah, it just did really well. So a friend of mine who was working on radio with me at the time, Andre Morgan, was having lunch, and Andre was like, you know, it's a really good story, like why don't you make it a play? And I was like, play? I ain't never done no play. What am I doing no damn play for? But then I thought to myself, do you know what, it ain't about what you ain't done, it's about what needs to be done. And in America, you've got your Tyler Perrys and all these people that are providing other avenues. Before he did movies, he had to do plays.
That's right.
And sometimes, especially here, like our movies and our stories aren't being shown.
I agree.
So what are we doing about it? If we got an option to tell our story on another platform, then start there.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I totally agree.
So basically, I booked Hackney Empire after that conversation.
Excellent.
Hadn't even written the play yet.
Excellent.
I just knew that if I don't book the venue, I ain't going to do it.
Yeah.
Right? So then I was like, let me just book the date. So I booked the date, and then I went back and wrote the play. Then I casted it. And then my idea was to get a new cast of actors, because I was kind of tired of the scene at the moment. It was very much like kidulthood, adulthood, and every damn thing. So I was like, there's so much talent out there, and I wanted talent that kind of remind me of myself, which is I didn't have money to go to acting classes and acting school, but I can do it. I've got it. Do you know what I mean?
So when you looked for your cast, where did you look? Did you look at people that you knew, or did you actually go to a casting agency?
I went to my fan base.
Good.
Went to my fan base. Excellent. You know what I mean? And I put it on Twitter, put it on Facebook, Instagram, everything. What was cool as well was that some people had read the story, and they were really interested in it. So we casted it, and some of them was like the first one, X Factor.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? Like, you ain't gonna be there. I don't know why you got babysitter. You should have stayed at home, kind of thing. And then
how did you tell them? How do you say to them, no, you're not?
No. You just do what they tell you, innit? Yeah. And when you go to your casting, I always say, if you don't hear from us, it's no. Ain't nobody calling you to say.
So some people are still waiting.
Yeah, for you to lock down my number and something. Nah, that's long. That's long. If you don't hear from us, it's no. So basically, we found an amazing cast, and they were all pretty much new actors. And we put them on Hackney Empire big stage, sold out audience, and then from then, like, the reaction was good. The play could have been much stronger, but I'm a novice, you know what I mean?
That's all the learning.
This is what I'm trying to say. Like, for me, I feel like the message you came across, they loved the story. It's just the production could have been more. But for me, I knew that was going to be the feedback beforehand. It was just about getting something done. And whilst we was doing that, there was 2 people in the audience who are publishers. Right. And they really liked the story. So they was like, what do I do? Like, why didn't you put it into a book? So then I was like, book? And I was like, I always thought one day I'd write an autobiography. Yes. But I was like, I never thought about writing none of this. But again, I was like, what is there for us to read nowadays?
It's true.
Harry Potter ain't real out here. So not for working. Me, I was like, we don't like all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. We like things that make us, that move us.
Yes.
This shit I'm trying to say. So it was moving people. So I put it into a book. So it's a scripted book. and now we're going to be doing a movie in April.
I was going to say, are you going to make it into a film? Is that your next one?
I mean, the ultimate plan from the get-go, before I even wrote the story, was I love Think Like a Man. I love Poetic Justice. I love the brothers. Like, we can be here all day. But after a while, they're not black, they're American.
Yes.
And what do we have here? I know so many talented people that have been in this industry that are getting roles to pay the bills rather than roles that they really want to do. And I want to create those characters, you see what I'm trying to say? So that's what we do. We're going to get a really strong cast. I mean, the book is for everybody to read. It's about women and men. It's not about black women. There's nothing
no colour
black
to it.
about
It's
it.
relationships.
But exactly. But I've made the decision to make the cast black, because the same way we have had to watch Friends and relate to him as a man, which I have done, they should be able to watch a black woman and relate to her as a woman.
Absolutely.
So that's what we're doing in April. So so it's looking good for that.
So I'm going to quote you here. You say, I want to stop women from hurting in the to do with Above Romance book. What do you mean by that? Explain the book. Explain that comment and why.
Everything that you ever see me write is a form of solution. Yeah? I think we share too much of our problems. I think no one shares solutions. So if you tell me about your problem, I ain't gonna tell you about my problem.
Right.
I'm gonna deal with your solution, because that's the way to help you. Another day you can help me with mine. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? But us two cussing about the same thing ain't helping none of us. So we both walked away without a solution, but we know why we're vexed. So for me, Above Romance is a solution. Get over it. Because you are not the only person who has gone through a bullshit relationship. You are not, let me talk to you, you are not the only person, okay, that has dealt with an idiot, okay? Everybody has. And the person that you like next may have dealt with an idiot. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? The whole point here is get over it and move on. Now, it might seem easier said than done, but sometimes you got to ride that pain to get to the promised land, as they say. Do you see what I'm trying to say? And I feel like you can waste a lot of years being bitter and moaning about shit. Do you know what I mean? Or actually spend the time. I once met a girl, a good friend of mine, who said, that's it, I'm not dating any men for any more. She said, I'm not dating men for 4 years. And I'm
she actually put a time on it?
4 years? 4 years.
Wow.
She says, I'm not dating, and I'm like, well, what happens if you meet a fool on the 5th year?
Yeah, right.
You just wasted 4 years for nothing.
Or you meet a great guy within 3 years span. You don't know, because you stopped yourself. You're limiting yourself.
This is what I'm trying to say, and I'm saying, you got. Unfortunately, you got to kiss the frogs until you meet your prince or princess. So it is what it is, man. But the book offers solutions. They're real characters. People call it fiction. I don't call it fiction because this is real stories. This is real people. Do you see what I'm trying to say? But the feedback's been great. It's doing really well.
So I see on your Twitter page, it's been amazing feedback. Yeah. So
and it's a guy writing about women.
Exactly.
It's a guy writing about women.
It's a bit like, Steve, I act like a success. Not on the same level because I haven't read it.
Yeah.
But I like the concept. What I love about you is you're like Nike, just do it anyway.
Yeah, you got to.
And I love that. You don't take yourself too seriously. And that's how it should be. I think sometimes we can take ourselves too seriously here, and you really go for things.
Do you know what it is? My thing is this: I'd rather do something, it be rubbish, and I get better.
But you tried.
Yeah, because my thing is that the person I am now is nowhere near the person I'm gonna be.
Right.
So I don't worry about comments now because I know what my game plan is. Always think further than my nose. Like, I think 5 years time. I don't think next week. So for me, it's like, opinions will happen now. And they'll be like, well, that was his first book. But if you see progression, then you're going to respect what I've been doing. So I've never been worried about starting something.
Good. Well, your beginning doesn't determine your future.
Of course,
so therefore,
exactly.
Do you think then that women hurt a lot more than men, or men just don't talk about it when it comes to parts of romance?
Men don't talk about it as much as women do. I think, women are very emotional in their decision making. Men are very logical. Both are a problem.
Right.
Because sometimes man needs to show his emotion when dealing with certain situations, and women just need to be logical. Yeah, he just don't like you. Don't get emotional about it and try and figure it out and say he's weird. He just don't like you. That's what it is. How much times have we not liked somebody, and then when they do it to us, we don't know what it looked like?
I think in some cases, in a relationship, it's like the beginning from some men can seem so strong, and then all of a sudden he doesn't like you, and it's all of a sudden that sometimes we'll get to women like, hold on, where did that come from? Last night you loved me, but what happened?
I have a secret to this. This is my personal thing. I just feel like you should never stop somebody from guessing. When someone stops guessing or they're not, they know everything about you, it's like a guy. This is how men are. When we finish a computer game, we go and buy the next one. They ain't playing the same game. No one playing FIFA 98 anymore. You know what I mean? You want the next thing.
Right.
But if I'm unable to beat FIFA 98, I'm still playing that.
Right. So it's to keep you guessing.
Yeah, you got to keep us. You got to keep the person interested. If you don't keep the person interested, man or woman, it's not going anywhere. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And it takes work from both people. So I always say, even if I'm in a relationship with you, I shouldn't always be able to get you on the phone. I shouldn't always be able to see what I feel like seeing you. Because people call it games, but it is a game to be played. Unfortunately,
just shake your hand?
I'm just saying that you gotta keep me interested. If I know I can get you anytime I feel like it, I'm gonna get bored.
Right. You must be less available because some people are just too available.
And then I will appreciate every moment that I do spend with you. My woman or not, do you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, no, I like that, and I think that I am definitely going to read the book.
I got a copy for you today, anyway.
Oh, thank you so much. Good, and thank you. I wish the book was here so I could
read
it right now. But here you go. So, you are the first black UK comedian to go to do Nick Cannon's Wild It Out.
Okay, cool. Step aside. Black, let's go.
Why y'all going there?
I said I'm not Chris Brown, so this won't get physical. Let me feel it on you. Wait, you ain't wifey material.
How did that come about?
So, again, when you talk about doing certain things that might seem crazy or not understandable to certain people, it's like it makes sense later on. Again, back to what we said about you do something small here and then you reap the benefits later on down the line and it gets better. I met Nick in 2008 when I moved to New York.
Okay.
So when I moved to New York, it was to, number one, work with Russell Simmons, which I was doing, and then also do like stand-up in the night. I got to a point in comedy where I felt as though I was getting a bit bored of the scene and I just felt like I'm not learning anything, me personally. And I want to learn. So I went to New York, I'd made friends there, and I learned a lot about people that I thought were my friends as well. Like a lot of people that you've helped when they come over to this country, and then you go over there, it's like everyone's too busy for you. But I just went back to my default settings. I'm from Hackney. I was like, let me just go back to the grind. And it made me a stronger person, not only here, but abroad.
Yeah.
And being able to make new relationships and deal with people a certain way. So, Jasmine Dotiwala, who was my boss at MTV at the time, she came to New York for her birthday and she's very close with Mariah.
Right.
So Nick came and that's when they all kind of just started to get together. And you got Mariah Carey over there, but I'm just focused on Nick Cannon.
Right.
I don't give a damn really about no Mariah Carey. And I have to say, Mariah Carey is one of the coolest women that I've ever met.
Yes, she is.
A genuinely funny person. But Nick was all I was interested in. So what I did was introduce him. We had a really great laugh. It was a good evening. And that was it. I didn't say, can I have this? And blah, blah, blah. No. We just swapped email. I think emails. He followed me on Facebook and vice versa. And we just stayed friends. And we always kept in contact, like even if it was Twitter or Facebook. And then, like I say, you never know when things add up. And then
never know. And
then 2 years ago, he hit me up and said, I'm bringing Wild and Out back. Wow. How would you like to be a part of it? By the time he said part of it, I was already in New York.
That's right.
Ain't no decision
you ready?
made.
You ready?
No, nothing there.
That means you got money. You actually got money.
Yeah, I'm outside your house. Pick me up at the airport. We're ready to go. Ain't no.
Some of us would have to stay for the ticket, but he was ready.
Ain't no. Do you want to? Do you know what I mean? I was already. I said, turn around, Nick. I'm here.
I'm here. I'm right here.
Yeah.
I got you.
You understand?
I got you.
So because I'm from East London, and I remember sitting in my room one day watching that show, saying, "Oh, that is sick." And I didn't go as far as to think I'd ever be on it, but I was thinking, "Oh, we need something like that here."
See, the mind is a powerful thing. You know? Yeah. The mind is.
We need something like that here, because that's always my mentality. When I see something that inspires me, I always say, "We need something like that here to actually go on the original show."
Yes.
That's insane.
And look where your mind went, and look where you were.
But this is what I'm trying to say. And sometimes you got to take a leap of faith and make the right decision. And sometimes you can do something for too long, and then you get stuck there. And I would just feel like there's no, I had a visa, which I kind of aided a lot of it as well, because I went on holiday one time to New York for a week, LA for a week, and when I was in LA, Bill Bellamy was there, and I know Bill, and Bill was like, "Oh, I'm doing this new show called Last Comic Standing, you should come and try it for us." I mean, on holiday, man, I had that 2 big suitcases, I ain't going nowhere. Went to the event thing, got through, they flew me the next day to Miami.
Yes.
Got through that, Then I got a visa, went to Vegas semi-final, didn't make the final 10. I said, I won this, I got a visa.
Right?
Yeah. So then that's what kind of made me go, you know what, let me use this. Like, a visa is very, very, very hard to get. Even now it's harder to get.
Completely.
And it's a blessing how I got it. I was on holiday and it ended up with this. So I was like, let me go and travel a bit, learn a bit more about the world and myself. And it's just paid dividends. And I feel like I've made the right decision so far at the right time. And sometimes it might seem crazy to a lot of people, but I always kind of know what I'm doing and I'm very quiet when I do.
You just do what you got to do. And that's I think that would probably be the advice, I assume the advice that you would give to new comics. Yeah. Am I correct in saying?
Well, yeah, I mean, ultimately to new comics, I would say kind of find what makes you different, first of all, from everybody else. You've got to find something that, it could be your drive, it could be your attitude, it could be your personality. It doesn't always necessarily have to be material or jokes. It could just be something that separates you from everyone else. How people react when they see you is important. And build relationships.
Yes, very important.
Build relationships. Like I'm comfortable to say no one in the black comedy scene has not many people in comedy have the relationships I have. Because I've just put myself in front of these people and said, hello, how are you?
But you're not scared. You went, you know what, feel the fear into it anyway.
But
that's really
but you got to, and it's like you got to take yourself out of the comedy scene sometimes. Like, I remember people that come to Corks. I mean, my boys would be like, bro, where do you get all these girls from? I never see them. They weren't comedy fans.
Right.
They were ravers.
Because you turned comedy right on its head, really, did you? You moved it from the old school and still kept within the framework and turned it to this.
The comedy fan base at the time, the comedy fans at the time were Room McCoy.
That's right.
Blouse and skirt, that's all they knew. We weren't part of it.
Yeah, no, we wasn't part of it. We had to change.
Yeah, and I come through raving. I didn't know about no comedy scene either. So all the people that came to Cooks, they were ravers that became comedy fans.
Absolutely.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? That's why you didn't see them at other shows and stuff.
I think you had people like Dave Chappelle touch the mic.
Right, of course.
You know, when he came in, it was friendly. It was like, wow, because your cues were around the corner.
But then it's because of, again, relationships. And
Absolutely.
sometimes they're relationships that you might not have, but someone else has to go, you know, if you go to London, go and see this guy. And then that's what built. We had Chris Rock come down and, you know, Cedric the Entertainer and things like that. And again, it's like, I'm just, 24? I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
But you were open for it.
But I was just like, let's roll with this. Like, people seem to like this shit.
But you know, do you find, I mean, like you've been to New York, do you find that they're more open to give in America than when we are here?
In what sense?
In the sense that, like, in America, they're like, oh, you got to see my man Kojo, he's real cool, and they pass it on. Do we do that here? Do you find that we do that here? Do you like, you might, and I might turn around and go, oh no, you got to go here.
Okay,
Kojo.
do you know what? Okay, to answer your question, right? Kevin Hart rang me last year and said, listen, I'm coming to London, I'm doing Wembley Arena, I want you on the show. And I was on my tour, right? And then I was like, it was the same day as my Manchester gig.
Oh wow.
Yeah? And I said to him, I can't cancel. I said the show's like, damn, they're sold out, I can't cancel. And then I spoke to Kennedy, promoter, and Kennedy says, bruv. And then I was like, you know what? But I said to Kevin, I'll find someone else for you.
Right.
Yeah?
So you passed it on.
Yeah. Now, then Kennedy said to me, bruv, will you pass it on, bruv? He said, name one person that would have got that call from Kevin and passed it on to you.
But we need to break that cycle. I totally applied.
So then I was like, you damn right. So I cancelled the Manchester show.
I went on yourself.
And I went and done it. Because my natural mind is to help someone else. But after a while, you have to look at the people that you're helping sometimes and say, would they do that for you?
Right.
And it's just a human thing. It's not even a competition thing. It's a human thing. And I looked at the situation. I was like, any of these that would have done that? And I didn't feel anybody would.
Yeah.
So I was just like, this opportunity that I feel as though I should take. An arena that's got 8,000 people in it, sold out. Let's go. Do you know what I mean? And it was one of the best things I've ever done in my life.
So what happened to the Manchester? Did you reschedule for another?
I tried to reschedule it, and then it's like people were just vexed and upset, which is understandable. But they knew why. I didn't say I'm just not coming. They knew why. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it made sense, but it was really a hard choice. Because I know you don't like letting people down.
Of course, and I know that I can go back and build that relationship again because I've had 3 years in Manchester. So.
Oh, excellent. Your production company, Small Print Productions. Yeah. So I obviously have done Wasteman Diaries, other productions. What is your next thing you're looking to do?
I think with the Small Print, it's like a little side production company that I have because ultimately it's whenever I put on comedy events. But I'm co-owner of Running Films now with Sheridan, which is more film and television. So we've got, like, all last year, 18 months of writing. I've got a sitcom about a black family called The Good Family. It's about a black family who win the lottery.
Oh, wow.
And that's sitting with Avalon, which is a massive production company, and they're gonna do that with me, and we're gonna get a pilot for that. Excellent. And then and I haven't even told him this, but I want Curtis Walker to be the dad. Like, I want to base it around Curtis Walker.
Wonderful, exclusive.
But so then we got that. Then we've got a dating show. Which is around the game. You remember the old game, Guess Who?
Right. Yeah.
So it's around the game, Guess Who. So we're talking to another channel about that. And then we've got Wasteman Diaries, which is going to be a book, and it's also going to be a drama. And we're talking to like people like E4.
Wonderful.
So that's what we're doing. We're creating content that I want to see. People always ask me, what show would you like to be on? And I honestly said only the stuff that I'm writing. Because there's nothing out there that I'm interested in.
Us.
Yeah, I said to somebody yesterday that unfortunately in this country I feel as though we're a second thought. We're never the first option. Mm-hmm. So you got to create an opportunity for you to be the first option. Do you know what I mean? And when I go into these meetings, they always say, but no one's writing and no one's doing stuff.
Right.
They can't say that no more.
Yeah, because and to be fair, I think a lot of people are writing, but I think that they probably didn't like how they were writing. And the difference is that you're going to make it happen anyway. You're a threat. You are definitely a threat, and I'm glad you're a threat.
But this is what I'm trying to say. But the problem is that, and this is where it gets technical, because when you're a threat doesn't mean that I'm going to come in there and start back at the place. No. A threat means that they know that if they hire you, you're gonna move furniture.
That's right.
They don't want furniture moved.
That's right.
So what they'll do is they'll get someone that look like you that can't move furniture.
That's right, and sit down still. But you're gonna say, well, if you don't give it to me, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Well, that's it. And I feel
that's great.
But that's the way the world is now.
That's
You got internet. We're doing this. You just say you don't need a TV station to do it because people are online more than watch TV anyway.
Yes.
So it's just about creating your own platforms and creating your own identity ultimately and your own fan base, and when you build that, then you become valuable. Then it's like they're calling you, which is kind of where we're at now. We're doing a show in the summer called West End Girls that I wrote, which is about which is about like a UK Sex and the City type show.
Oh, wonderful!
And that's what we need. You know how sexy London is. Like London is one of the most beautiful cities in the world, and it's never shot properly. We're still shooting EastEnders to us. You know what I mean? So it's like EastEnders ain't representative of East London anymore. No. So for me, it's like you got to make everything aspirational, sexy. Like, where's our sexy women on TV? Nothing.
That's how I feel. I'm like, where are the sexy? And can I just note that not everything skinny is sexy. There are some big girls that are sexy. Clearly, I'm telling you.
Definitely. Don't get twisted. We like them big guys.
Hi. So the other question, I know we've got to wrap up. But
no.
One of the three questions I want to ask. I've got three random questions for you.
Yeah.
So, what's your favourite city?
New York.
New York.
The moment I step foot in New York, I'm inspired.
Yes.
It is like, you see how gritty it can be, and you can see how amazing it can be, all in that experience. And I feel that's why when people really do come out of those trenches, they've earned it. It's not given to you. People are very fast. Excuse me.
They're moving around.
Yeah, people are moving around, and I'm impatient for small things, but I'm very patient for big things.
Right.
And I talk fast sometimes, and I walk fast, and I'm very much like that. And I like the pace of New York. It's very much boom, 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 boom. So anytime I'm there, I'm inspired. I mean, Cork's happened because of a trip to New York.
Yes.
Seeing the comedy clubs out there, and I was like, "Where's ours?"
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So then we did it. It wasn't genius. It just worked.
Oh, it was right at the right time. You've done some fantastic. Yeah, it was perfect the way that you've done it. Just your brain worked that way as well. Literally.
Yeah.
You wake up out your sleep, take notes. What is it like for you in that?
My brain thinks like 100 things like per hour because it's just like, okay, I wish I could do this. That's why I dabble in so many different things. But I wouldn't do half of the things that I've ever done. Even writing books or anything, if someone else was doing it, I wouldn't have started Corks if someone else was doing it. Because you have to book people and pay people. I didn't want to do all of that. But it just needed to be done.
See, I think there's no problem in doing if somebody else is doing it. If there's room for everybody.
Yeah.
But I think that everyone should put their own mark, and that's what you've done. You've put your own mark. I think you've done an excellent job when it comes that you put your mark and you're going, you know what, I'm going to do it anyway, and you just do it.
I mean, now I'm in that vein. For me, ultimately, I don't regret anything because it's like I've learned more skills. But if I could have just been a comedian, I would have preferred that. If all
really,
because think about it. That's why a lot of Americans are just comedians, because they've got Tyler Perry, and they've got Steve Harvey, and they've got Russell Simmons, and we ain't got none of those people here. So I have to be a Russell Simmons, and someone else has to be a Tyler Perry. And so, do you know what I mean? It's like, because then people can just be great at what they are. But now you got to be a promoter, you got to be a comedian,
you got everything. You got to be everything.
Because there's no one that's doing that for you. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So
I really do understand what you're saying.
So we need to build those people in, to get the infrastructure in. And I don't genuinely believe that I'm going to see the benefits of my work, but the scene will. Right. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Yes. So that's what you got to do. When Martin Luther King and which Selma, the movie that I saw recently, that really made me look at myself.
Yes.
Really made me look at myself and say, what are you doing to help people move forward? What are you doing? And not to say that I haven't done anything, but you want to know more. It just gave me clarity of what I'm doing, and the benefits of it later on. Yes, because it might not benefit me like it didn't benefit him or Rosa Parks. But now,
look what they've left behind.
Yeah,
look what we know.
She couldn't sit down now. We get vexed when someone sit next to us on the bus.
Yeah, we do. My second question to you is Primark or Adidas?
Primark. Someone can go and get one pair of Adidas trainers. You know what I can get? $49.99. You crazy? What Primark, mate? Slim fit white shirt, done though.
I'm loving it. Hot chocolate or Milo? Do you even know about Milo?
I think Milo's drugs, personally. Seriously, you only got that when you're making too much noise in the house and mom want you to sleep. So, oh, you want some Milo? You're excited. And then you thought you didn't realise that she's trying to put you to sleep. Yeah, that's sleeping pills in Milo. That's what I think it is. So I would say hot chocolate.
You're in the hot chocolate.
Yes, I can go back outside and play.
You know what? It has been amazing. Thank you for joining me on Comedy on the Sofa. I wish you every success.
Thank you very much, beautiful.
I'm loving you.
Take care. Thanks, guys.
We'll see you soon.